Hello, everyone, and welcome to another weekly analysis on the NASDAQ EMini futures. Today is Saturday, October 1st, and we're looking into the week of October 3rd. We'll start with the NDX, and I want to jump directly into the MAX monthly charts. This was our 2000 tech crash, and if you see here, it really did not recover in the 2007 subprime crash, but the crash was not tech related, so hence tech was pretty strong. So even if I would say it still formed a higher low, not a lower low, but definitely not a higher high, so it did not go from here. So now if I really draw a line, if you can see here, so that's a trend line there touching the tops. It went to the top off of that and then came back, bounced back little in the monthly, and then broke that trend line. Now can I do something similar from the bottom? We can see that here. If we do that, that's way far away, so I really don't think that's a good trend line there, but I drew some closer trend lines that we should take a look at it. So that is your COVID crash, that's the 2018 crash for sure. If you look at that trend line and then the top trend line, from here it is the printing of money and the really low 10-year treasury note. And if it's easy to borrow money, tech companies usually do well. Now that is very prevalent on short-term loans, which is the 10-year treasury note. But 10-year treasury note has been spiking and has been spiking really up. So let's look at that just for a comparison basis, and that's where the 10-year treasury note is gone. So it has really, let me draw a line here. It's touched that trend line, went up there, and now is broke out of that basically support area. Will it come down there? Maybe, but as you can see, so you can if you just focus on these two charts here and not the bonds and the ES, every time the 10-year treasury note spikes, NDX or NQ is bottoming out. 10-year treasury note is on the bottom here right there, and NQ is all the way in the top. Now what has the 10-year treasury note been doing? It's been going up. What has the NQ been doing? Going down. So they are reverse correlated. So just want to give you a brief idea about that. So now with the interest rate spiking, we are in a very different zone. And let's look back to our NDX, and I will set that up again. The time frame wise on a daily, we'll go to the max here and we'll choose monthly. So back at our chart, so we're looking at that. So if you can see, it sold off and went sideways, so that means it's forming a supply here. Sold off, went sideways, and forming another supply level. Where do we see a bottom? I just don't know. That's very hard, but we can always from the charts figure out few bottoms. So one bottom is here for sure. We haven't seen a really topping tail. So bottom topping tails are something like this, where the candle almost 50% or more of the candle body is less than almost 40% or 50% of the whole size of the candle, and there is a long bottoming wick. We haven't seen that here. I was thinking this would be the one here, but then obviously I was wrong because it sold off. I can be wrong. So as this broke this particular bottoming wick here, that is definitely a very strong resistance area for us now, because that was a support area and that's a strong resistance. 10,644 is definitely a good support area, because if you see it goes there, it's going there. But if you follow this trend line, this line here, it's coming all the way down somewhere here. If that, that sell-off wiggles and starts coming, it comes all the way down here, and that is completely reversing this money printing piece. So if Fed keeps raising the rates, I do see, it coming down to pre-COVID regions. So we'll put another support there on a larger time frame right there, and that correlates with also this one touching that trend line there. Let's jump into NQ and look at something similar. So again, pretty much similar. So we will draw our levels here quickly. That's the trend line there, and that's the channel that I've been looking at. So I'll remove this trend line. I will also remove this trend line. So if you look at this channel, it comes somewhere here, and that's the level there, somewhere like that. But I was looking at, like, these are multiple months of support, hence 10,700 could be a good support area. Let's get into the daily here and start diving deeper. So I'm not going to go far away, just look at 1 year daily. That's not enough. Let's look at 15 years daily. Okay, so looking at 15 years daily, if you can see, that was an M, so that means murder or a bearish pattern, and hence that's definitely became a good support area for us, because if it did not sell off, that means there are strong buyers at that level. So that becomes a strong level for us. Now what I want to do here is put a SMA and see where we stand on a weekly SMA, and let's go for 200. We are right there on the 200 weekly SMA. So definitely a good strong support level here. I would say 11, so that's 11,000, so this is 10,700. So I would bet 10,700 is a good support level, but I'll also want to add here, which is 10,900, because that's right at the weekly SMA. So we'll see if there is any trend lines there. There is none, but let's try to see if that holds. So this is the second bounce there. Obviously it went up, and hopefully it bounces from here, getting into the earning season here. So we'll keep it there to see if that holds. Again, price action always prevails, so we always follow by price action, but that's a good support area in my opinion. Okay, let's dive into our weekly. Still nothing changes here. We can be a little bit more precise with this one on the weekly, so we'll move that here. So nothing changes here. What do we have from a resistance level? So that's definitely a resistance there, because it had tough time to break that. It tried to break once, peaked bottom, did not confirm. If you have been listening to me from my other videos, you know what I mean by confirmation. It has to close below that level. So peaked, bounced back, again closed below that, should have held but never went up, did not confirm, strong rejection, went up all the way, and this time we are on a similar level here. So let's see if it confirms. That means it would bounce back from that level. So we'll go up, get rejected at 11,500, 50 to 500, 11,600 level, and then just have a strong rejection and start selling to our next levels. So we will time will tell and price action will prevail. Let's look at the 184 hourly and see if there is any difference. So none. We definitely see another level here, which is here. So I'll add a level there. So we will stick to these levels as of now, and in short, that's a very strong level here. Then this is even much more stronger level, the 10,361, but that 10,970, that's definitely a very strong level because of merging of multiple trend lines, demand levels, weekly 200 moving average, so 200 weekly moving average. So we'll see if it bounces from there. Quickly looking at, in the 4 hourly, it's definitely oversold. Let's look at the daily. Definitely oversold on the daily, and let's also look at the weekly. Also oversold in the weekly. So let's keep those areas into our focus, and we'll trade as per our trading plan in these areas and see how the market reacts. My plan going into next week obviously is, I do not have any positions. I'll try along at this level with price action, and if this level is quite far away, if you see it's 11,058, it is 10,980 or 970, so it's actually not that far away if you take into NQ, which is very volatile. So we have had almost now, from a weekly basis, 3 strong weeks of selling, and we're going into October, which is usually not a negative month. September usually is one of the most bearish month. So how do I know that? I definitely don't. So let's look at where we are. So that is 9. I'm looking at, this is weekly. So let's go into a monthly, 5-year monthly. So we will look at, somewhere here, let's say March, July, that is September, November started going up. October started going up. November green, December green, then again starts selling off usually. You can look into this through any, if you Google for S&P seasonal charts or NASDAQ seasonal charts, you can find that information there. Let's pick some other months and see if the same thing prevails. So we're August, we are here now. September, something similar is happening, but this September again sold off. In October, November up, December, January, this one is there. Let's find another that we just looked at it. You can see the pattern here. So looking at those levels, that's what I would trade between. And again, the levels are for me 10,980, 11,500, 50 to 11,600. Those are the two levels that I would like to trade between. And yes, they are quite far away, but NQ moves that fast, and when you're swing trading, we want to take profit at any 100 to 200 points in NQ, and this is not much of a big move for NQ. They can easily move. As again, keep these levels in mind, trade according to price action, keep your stop losses tight, your losses small, and your profit at large. Thank you for listening, and have a happy trading.